This is a wake up call to everybody that has grown up in a church, anybody that sits down in a chair inside a church every Sunday morning. You probably go to church more frequently than that. You probably go to church religiously, maybe 7 days a week, 3 or 4 times a week. You go for youth, you go to your young adults hangouts. You're a part of the church community. Well, this is a wake up call for you. I had a dream, and I know that the Lord speaks to me prophetically through dreams, right? Test it for yourself, right? Run it by the word. I had a dream where I was going to this house, and this person's house, it was a name of somebody. I've seen them around the churches. They look like wonderful people, but I don't know them personally. And I went over and I saw that their house was empty. And there was a broom and a bucket next to a wall. What does that mean? That house was clean, the house was empty, it was put in order, but there was nothing inside. So if you go with me to Luke chapter 11, verse 24, when the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it passes through waterless places seeking rest, and finding none, it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house swept and put in order. Then it goes and brings 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. So, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that there are wonderful people in the church. They have wonderful personalities, very outgoing, very involved with the church, but they're empty. They might not have the Holy Spirit truly living in them. Right? There's compromise in their lives, and there's things that they still partake in with the world. And these things are not necessarily bad things in the sense of it makes them an evil human being, but they're impure. And if there's no conviction to turn from those impurities, and that just signifies that the Holy Spirit might not dwell in that person, and it is just you, person that's watching this video, then the Lord is trying to tell you something. He's trying to tell you, hey, you might go to church, you might be a wonderful person, you might have a good personality, you might even be a charismatic person. I'm not talking about charismatic with the denomination. I'm talking about charismatic. You have charisma, you're outgoing, you're always smiling, you look bright, right? But the light does not dwell inside of you. If the light dwells inside of you, then they will lead you. Then the light leads you to conviction, and the light shines in the dark places to where it scurries the darkness away. Well, you might be going to church, and you might be this person that is being described in the dream. Not only that, but you yourself might even be tormented and might even have spirits living inside of you, and you're probably going through battles that nobody knows about. Well, I want to tell you, person, that once you shut the door to the world and you turn to Jesus for real, He will not just clean your house. He will dwell in your house. He wants to dwell in your house. And who are the houses? Us human beings. Jesus calls us houses. He just called us houses here. I will return to my house from which I came. In this case, he's talking about the evil spirits, but spirits refer to us as houses. The Lord also referred to us as houses. We're temples. The house of God. We are the home of God. And if we do not host the Holy Spirit in our temple, then we are empty and we are prone for demonic attacks that are very bad. Right? So I just want to let you know, and I wanted to tell you, that if you are in this state, you partake in church, and you might think you're good, if there are struggles that you are going through that you would consider pretty bad internally, and that is because you have company, and it's not good company. So I want to invite you. The solution is invite Jesus in. Surrender to Him. Surrender all the music to Him. Music is a huge open door to the demonic. Secular music might be, you might think it's harmless rock, you might think it's harmless punk, you might think it's harmless pop. Harmless country is a big one. The country music you might be listening to might not be inspired by the Lord. Most likely it's not inspired by the Lord. It's rare to find country music or pop music that's inspired by the Lord. But that is an open door to the enemy. You might not know it. It might go over your head. You might think, oh, it's harmless, right? It doesn't say any bad words and doesn't talk about any sin. But when you think about it, there are frequencies that are prone to demonic portals. I just want to tell you how important it is to get serious with Jesus, right? Stop playing church. Stop saying that you're all good just because you participate with the youth or probably with your young adult group or whatever it is. You probably participate even in the leadership. If this is you, the Lord is telling you that your house is empty. That means that you're unrepentant. If you still partake in the things of the world and you think it's okay to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out with the cultures of the world, then you might even be told there's nothing wrong with enjoying those things. But it is an open door in the way that it's an impurity. We were made to be consecrated vessels. We weren't designed to enjoy secular music. Is this going to sound very bothersome to many of you? I already feel it. I already see it. But the human wasn't created to enjoy secular music. It's dry. It's waterless. Wherever there's a waterless place, wherever you see something, a song that's void of the Holy Spirit, and that is room for the enemy to infiltrate. That's a vehicle, musical notes that are not filled with water, the Holy Spirit, are empty vehicles that are prone for demonic hijack. Whatever it is, pop, rock, classical, country, those frequencies, if they are not filled with the pure water of the Holy Spirit, then they are empty vehicles for unclean spirits to hijack. And those vehicles go inside your ears. And they go inside your mind. And you don't even know it, you might even have a parasite. I'm not talking about a literal parasite. A parasite as in an intruder. An unclean spirit. And if you feel tormented by this, I guarantee you Jesus is the solution. How do you do that? You close the door to those open doors. You shut the door. You run to Jesus. And you sin no more. What did Jesus tell the woman caught in adultery? I don't condemn you. But he also tells you, now go and sin no more. And that's with everything. Why do I attack secular music so much? Because it's a reality, guys. Nobody's willing to talk about it. Not many ministers are willing to talk about it. But it is. Music is a spiritual technology. It's a spiritual weapon. You can use it either for good or for evil. Why do you think that African drums, majority of them, conjure evil spirits? They sound lousy, but yet those things have power. How much more should Christian music that is filled with the water of the Holy Spirit have power? It's up to you to decide and make the decision to put it away. I can preach all I want, but if you don't make the first move and shut the doors to what's supposed to be shut, then we're not doing our part. When we partake in those things, we shy away from the fullness of what Jesus has for us. And I'm not trying to say this with a selfish motive of like, oh, gimme. But a lot of things that everything that Jesus has done, he's done it for us. For us. It's not about us, but he is for us. It's very different things. We are not the main character. Christ is the main character. But Christ loves us enough that he wants us to be a part of it. We were made to be consecrated vessels. We were not meant to be stained with the uncleanness of this world, with waterless things. Music that is void of the Holy Spirit is waterless. This is a revelation to somebody. I know this is speaking to somebody. If you've been feeling that tongue in your heart, every Christian should put it away. Every Christian was meant to be a consecrated vessel. What does it mean to be consecrated? To remain faithful. To be all about Jesus. In mind, in thought, in heart, in spirit. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. When we love the secular music of this world, we are not loving the Lord our God with all our soul, which is the mind, the will, and the emotion. You know that music, again, it's spiritual technology. What I am saying is that we jump outside of consecration when we do that. We're not consecrated. And you can open yourself up to tormenting spirits. You can open yourself up to torment. You can open yourself up to fights and battles that are not necessary. Spiritual fights and battles. Depression, fear, anxiety, negative emotions. Negative emotions. So you want to go ahead and you want to avoid those fights as much as possible because they're not necessary. What does St. Corinthians? Touch not the unclean thing, and I will welcome you. You read the book of Joshua in chapter 7. The people of Israel touched accursed items, and God let them fall to their enemies because of their disobedience, because they jumped out of consecration. You jump out of consecration whenever you forget the fear of God. Do not forget the fear of God, friend. This might sound harsh, but it is necessary truth that you have to hear, and it's beneficial to you. This is a loving message because it's benefiting you. If you love Jesus, you're going to be faithful to Him in everything you do. Love the Lord with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength, with all your soul. The mind, will, and the emotion. I hope this video was a blessing to you. If it was a blessing, go ahead and share this video. Go ahead and also like this video as it pushes us out on the algorithm and blesses more people on the way. God bless you.